Hi, welcome to this video where I'm going to teach you how to do programming from the start. So this is just a simple introduction video where we're going to work with numbers in a programming language called Julia. If you haven't already downloaded the Julia programming language, I advise you to look at my previous video that shows you how to do that. So I'm going to start real easy and we're going to do some simple arithmetic, work with different kinds of numbers like integers and decimal numbers. Operations on numbers like cosine, square roots, logarithm, exponent. So basically all the things that you can do on a regular calculator. But I'm going to show you how to do it in the programming language. I never use a calculator. I always use a programming language whenever I need to do calculations because they're a lot more flexible and nice to work with. So even if you don't learn any more programming, just knowing how to use a programming language as a calculator is beneficial. Let's start by doing some simple arithmetic. We can add some numbers. Every time that you hit enter after you've written an expression, Julia will show you the answer to, or the evaluation of that expression will gives you the answer. So the first expression here, we get a 5, and then we're multiplying 3 and 4, we get a 12. We can create more complex expression by using parentheses. So already here, it's a little bit easier than would be for a lot of calculators to write more complex expressions. And we can use arrow keys to get back previous expressions that we've written. And we have a special, what we call a variable that you can write, it's called ANS, short for answer. And that gives us the last answer to a mathematical expression that we evaluated. And we can use this with other expressions. So for instance, here I'm multiplying my previous answer with 2 to get 30. Let's do some more operations. We can divide. Now this gives us a decimal number, 0.5. Or actually Julia doesn't really have decimal numbers, it has floating point numbers. We need to know the exact difference between floating point numbers and decimal numbers at this point. If you actually want to work with fractions, you can do that, but then you have to write 2 forward slashes. So that would represent 1.5, sorry, that would represent a half. And so I can add up a half and 1/4 and I get 3/4. So this is something that you can't typically do with a regular calculator. And we can work with scientific notation, which a lot of calculators support. So this gives us a number that starts with the digit 3 and then has 3 digits following it. And we're adding 40, so we get 3040. We can, of course, use a dot, so 2.3, and with 2 digits, which gives us 230. Any good calculator usually has some built-in special numbers like pi and the Euler number. If I hit shift and select, which gives me the question mark, I can get the online help system where I can ask, for instance, what is pi? And you can see here that you can actually write pi in 2 different ways. I can also use the Unicode version of pi. And Julia has a shorthand for doing that. I write a backslash and the name of the character I want, and I hit the tab, and this gives me the pi symbol. So I'm going to show you some more advanced operations in Julia, like sine. So the sine of pi, and the sine of pi and a half. We can use the cosine. Of course, we can do things like the logarithm. So this is the natural logarithm of e, and we can do the logarithm of Euler's number times, or to the power of 3, and that should naturally be 3 as well. Very quick recap. We don't really have decimal numbers. We have something called floating point numbers in Julia. They're not completely accurate. It's worth keeping in mind. You'll see that in future videos. And as you saw, we can pretty much do all the stuff that you can do in a regular calculator, whether it's square roots or logarithms or with exponents.